little bit of everything.
You know, one of the basic fundamentals in basketball is the ability to box out. He's got that down pat.
The dish to Hill. On the wing, George. No good on the triple. Wizards leading by 6. And the foul on Monte Ellis. That's his first foul.
That's his first personal foul. Substitution on the court.
16 seconds left now here in the second. Nene, the screen. Oubre can't get it to go.
Boy, the effort was there, but he just couldn't quite fight his way through traffic.
Miles, that's good. Here is Sessions. He gets it up. No good, trying to beat the buzzer. And we're through the first half of basketball here in what's been a good one. Wizards lead by 3. We'll be back shortly live from the Verizon Center.
Always been a dynamic scorer, and we saw in that first half the entire repertoire on display.
Yeah, he's a hard man to keep down, and so far they haven't found the answer for him. I don't know if there is an answer for him, quite honestly.
The great pair of Wall and Beal are at the guard spots. Porter is out there with Humphries, and it's Gortat in at the pivot spot, manning the middle. That's Randy Whitman's 5 as we get into the second half. And here's Miles outside, and he gets the bucket. Miles has got the game tied up here for the Pacers.
Defender there in the neighborhood, but not quite close enough. Good shot.
Wall, that's good.
He shot the ball exceptionally well as they've built this lead for themselves here.
Well, the Pacers, despite all their injuries from last season, were right in the playoff hunt until the very end. Had a chance, in fact, GA, on the last day to sneak in, but it didn't happen.
Yeah, they needed a Brooklyn loss to go along with them winning that last game. Ultimately, though, it wasn't in the cards for them, and they ended a game out of the postseason.
Stolen by Allen. Miles dishes to Stuckey. To the wing on the left. For the lead. And it's Miles missing. For Washington, they've gone 1 of 3 since starting the second half.
And, you know, the Pacers had made the playoffs in each of the last 4 seasons prior to last year's miss. Hard for a team that was coming off of back-to-back conference finals appearances to stomach that. But with the injuries, they'll be better and back in the playoffs next year, I'm sure.
Dishes it to Hill. Back to Stuckey. Shot clock at 5. Outside for Miles.
2 points.
Basket is good. The assist from Stuckey.
C.J. Miles.
Miles has got 10.
Assisted by.
And really, it's going to be more of a reload than a rebuild situation for the Pacers. You would have to imagine.
Dudley's checked in for Gortat. So an entirely new group in now for Indiana. Mahimi's checked in for Turner. Hill comes in for Lavoy Allen. George is checked in for Hill. And it's Ellison for Rodney Stuckey.
That makes it 4 turnovers for him now. He's just been lazy with the ball in his hands, fellas.
Ellis with it. He's picked up by Wall. And Miles kicks to Ellis. For the lead, he dishes it to Miles. Back to Ellis. And he misses the go-ahead basket. As for those dry spells you mentioned about the Pacers, GA, they had a number of long losing streaks last season.
Yeah, as a team, they had 4 different losing streaks of 6 or more games, and they got hot at the end. Season-high win streak of 6 to stay playoff relevant. It was just too little, too late compared to their losing streaks earlier in the year.
Last season at both sides of the coin for the Wizards. Started out very hot, but then just could not keep it going.
Well, you know, the start was extremely hot. 19-6, which tied a franchise best, that record. After that, though, they played close to 500 ball the rest of the time.
Passes it to George. All sorts of time. And he's going up for the alley-oop. It's stolen by Hill. In the corner, Miles with it. .151 left in the third. There's the bucket, good. And it's 13 points here for George.
And the Wizards really struggled post All-Star break, playing under 500. Still, though, they seem to pull things together at the very end and on into the postseason.
Well, there's no denying it. The Wizards had some bumps, and you mentioned that. Some weeks they look like...
So the Pacers called timeout, their first of the game. They come into this one following the loss to the Grizzlies.
Yeah, but they didn't roll over in that game. Had a good chance still to pull out the victory, just couldn't come through in crunch time.
Greg, I thought it was a solid effort from them all the way around. I mean, but as you and I know, moral victories are kind of empty consolation prizes. A loss is a loss.
The Pacers shooting their 6th and 7th free throw attempts tonight.
And guys, one thing that was obvious to me, last year the Wizards really matured as a team. I mean, they played as if they expected to win instead of a group kind of coming into their own. I thought they just showed a lot more composure and maturity on the court.
Here's what Washington's going with right now. Nene, he's checked in for Humphries. And Oubre is subbed in for Otto Porter Jr. And Allen with the block. And he's able to get it back. They got him on the arm, but it still can.
Some defensive breakdowns are starting to show up now. Their last 4 buckets allowed have come from very close range.
Yeah, high percentage shots are what they are getting in terms of the attempts, and that's just not going to get it done. They've got to figure it out.
As you said, the Wizards did look more mature last year on the floor with their play. They made sure to add veterans to achieve that.
And not just any veteran, but a future Hall of Famer in Paul Pierce. I mean, his presence on the team, I think, really is what propelled them to achieve new heights. And it also went beyond just Paul Pierce. That roster had a combined 490 playoff games. And that playoff veteran leadership, I felt, really helped this young core to grow.
Hill kicks to Allen. And it's Hill penetrating. Stuckey for 3. And once again off the mark by Indiana. Wizards trailed by 3. And finished off by Oubre.
Incredible timing on the alley-oop.
He absolutely hammered it down.
And guys, mark that play right there, because that could be the one that leads to a surge to break this thing wide open. That's a shot he's got to hit. You don't get many looks better from that range.
And Wall with the slam. Clark, third quarter here, and 5 lead changes so far.
Yeah, it's really been a bit of a tug of war. Back and forth we go.
And guys, neither team has been able to pull away.
And there's the whistle on the shot. Took the foul, shot misses. He'll be shooting 2. And Indiana called for the foul. The Wizards shooting their 5th and 6th free throws of the game. Gary Neal's checked in for the Wizards. And so John Wall nails both of them. Pacers trail by 3. Stuckey into the lane. It's stolen by Wall. And here's Neal outside. And that one's good. Neal's got himself on the board with 3 there.
And you can see the difference with their ability to win with their speed, guys.
Boy, I love the pace and flow that their open court offense has been played with. I mean, it's been humming quietly, but very efficient.
And we've reached the end of the third quarter. Just a terrific game so far. Wizards out front as they end the third quarter on a 12-4 run. And time to step aside quickly, but we'll be back in no time with the start of the fourth quarter. And we're set to start the action up here in the fourth quarter. And if it's anything like the first three, we should be in for a treat. Time called here. Indiana decides to talk it over. Indiana didn't have a great record on the road last season. Doris Burke has an update for us. Doris?
Kevin, I was able to hear the advice Frank Vogel gave to his team during that last break. He doesn't think they've been giving it their all, saying they've been quicker to rebounds, to every loose ball. We got to wake up. The game's slipping away, and we're letting it happen. We have got to take control of this thing. We'll see if he lit a fire under him, guys.
And so in the game for the Pacers, C.J. Miles and Paul George are the wingmen. Hill is out there with Mahinmi. And it's Ellis, and at the point. Outside for George. Miles, that's for two. The shot no good.
I tell you what, folks, I bet he won't miss that shot next time he takes it.
Wizards leading by 3. Stolen by Ellis.
They're losing their concentration here, guys. Some sloppy play going on right now.
Yeah, 2 turnovers in a row, and that's always a recipe for disaster.
Screen by Ellis. Outside, George. He kicks it to Ellis. And George, here we go. Quickly with it. Pulls from the top of the key. And right on target with the switch. Dudley's got the fourth quarter going with the first basket of the period here for the Wizards. And a closer look here at the hustle stats for Washington.
You know, block shots, guys, a clear indicator on the stat sheet of their excellent defense. I mean, leaving them no room to get off any shots.
And also, how about the points they've gotten in transition or on the fast break tonight? That's been a huge factor as well.
Washington calls timeout.
And for the Pacers, perhaps the biggest loss of the season for them was on the road. Couldn't get it done in Memphis on the final day of the season to try and get into the postseason.
Wizards making a switch here. Beal's checked in. And the Pacers also making a change. Turner's checked in.
And with the offense getting right to the rim, at least they saved the layup.
Old school D right there, just telling them no easy layups. It's as simple as that. And that's what you expect from them. Can you believe the job they're doing at the foul line since halftime? I mean, they've been perfect so far.
Yeah, as cool as can be, Clark. Great focus and efficiency. That's how they built this lead.
And Miles kicks to Turner. Out of bounds. Washington takes possession.
No clue where that pass was going. That is a brutal turnover.
Wizards leading by 5. Fires for 3. Shot's good.
And tired legs affect you at the defensive end first, and that's what we're seeing here.
You called it, Greg. As much offense as we saw early, we're seeing even more of it here late.
Big brother's bad to me. I got a blind date with destiny. I'm Mexican with an amazing race I get to be. Must stay out wickedly perfect. Fear not a factor making me nervous. I'm a survivor collapsed on the planet deserted. That's the word like a $10,000 pyramid scheme. Changing the face of the game like the Swarm medical team. Lead troopers, a league of supreme. Rest your luck with sleep. Go home. The biggest loser, huh? I'll have the last laugh like the last comic standing. Make it the band play as you walk up stage empty-handed. And I'm taking home America's next top model. Back to the bachelor pad. Show us some... newspaper boy, dog, fetch me my slippers. Feed me, do the dishes if you need me. Everybody's so emo, everyone expects emotion. While I'm holding on to long-term solution to that notion that everything must go.